All right. Good afternoon, everyone. How are we doing today? Good, right? But your team today doesn't sound so good. I received this email saying that I should give a talk to students about struggle and storm. What's up with that? All right, so let's check if that assumption is true. Let's play a game. Now, I want you to raise your hand if you agree. I only have two statements. One is, raise your hand if you believe that your life will be better than your parents. If your life, you have better opportunity, you have better quality of life than your parents, raise your hand. All right, I see quite a few. Second question, raise your hand if you believe that you can make a difference in your future. All right, quite a few, but from what I can see, most of you didn't raise your hand. So it does seem that you feel struggle. You feel some kind of storm. But if you raise your hand twice, then you're very optimistic there on the left corner. And if you didn't raise your hand at all, you're over here. You're confused. The world is a mess. You don't know what to do. If you're somewhere in between, those are the two corners. Today, I want to help you answer this question. Who will you become in tomorrow's world? And this is a perfect segue to some of the previous speakers that you have heard. The previous talk was about your inner world. This talk will be about what's going on outside and how can you cope with that. So I hope by the end of today, you have some information that help you decide about your future and the future of people around you. Just a quick introduction about myself. I'm Luong, not Long actually, but I'm Luong, the head of solution mapping at United Nations Development Program. What do I do? What is my identity, if the previous speaker asked me? And my simple answer to that is that I help people make wiser decisions about themselves and about their community. I provide evidence to decision maker, to government, to community to become better and more sustainable. So I had the chance to work with many amazing people, some of the smartest people on this planet, from UN diplomat, government official, tech startup, and on and on. And I've learned a few things that I believe could be of benefit to your journey. But before we go into the future, I want to talk about today. A futurist once told me, if you want to understand the future, then look into the past. Look 3 times into the past if you want to understand what's happening next. So my age is, I was born in 1992. So that was early 90. And if you look at this chart, this is the Human Development Index. And it's an index that measures the progress of each country in 3 things, health, in education, and in income. So you can see that the world as a whole has been getting a lot better. So I don't know what you've been depressing about, but according to this chart, you should be feeling a lot more. Particularly Vietnam. Now my parent generation, for sure, they were struggling a lot of wars, history, things like that. So my generation, we enjoy the prospect of a better life and a lot of technology, as I will come later. And this is the picture of the city, your city today, Hanoi. When I was born in the 90s and today, basically the same, right? No difference. Same but different. No, I didn't think so. Huge difference. You can see that maybe many of you don't remember this, but our city, basically unrecognizable. Now, as a 90s child, I also grew up on a lot of television and different things. Your generation today, you have your brain rot, you have your skibbity toilet, you have your TikTok. I had this, cable TV. Does anybody know what this show is? It's called The Jetson. Raise your hand if you know the show. Okay, I see a few hands. This was one of the shows that helped me to learn English. I watched Cartoon Network when I was a kid, and I was really fascinated about this because it showed you a picture of what the future could be. And this show was produced in 1960, but it predicted today, or more precisely, what's going to happen next, but also a lot of the technology today. So long time ago, people already thought about the technology that you use today. It used to be science fiction, but now it's what you use every day. For example, video call. A lot of you grow up on Teams, on Zoom calls in your classroom. You don't even go to classroom anymore. Smart wearable devices. You have digital phone, smart watches. Some of you are on it right now instead of listening to me. Thank you, by the way. But you're going to even have more. Robots, humanoid robots, AI. So all of these things used to be stuff that people think you are crazy if you say that you're going to have it. But today, it's part of our everyday life. You have vacuum cleaner robots at home, your Roomba. But they're also making humanoid robot to come and steal your job at some point. And all of this is thanks to the amazing technological advancement in our world, and particularly digital technology. In this chart, you can see the price of memory and storage in the computer has gone down so much. And I don't know if many of you even know what a VHS tape is or floppy disk is, but it used to be what we communicated. And now you don't even have any of this anymore. You just have the internet, the cloud. That's where all of our information and technology is stored. But thanks to all of this, it makes the technology you see today happens. And maybe you will also be the first generation to commute with the stars, to go to work during the star. Earlier this year, we have Amanda Nguyen, a Vietnamese-American woman, who became the first a Vietnamese woman to go on space. So thanks to her, now you have a whole new way to disappoint your Asian parents that you cannot become an astronaut. That's what they wanted you to become. But okay, let's talk about the world that you will inherit today. I call it the outside world, and you are experiencing what is called the poly crisis. Now, have any of you heard this story? Your mom or an adult tell you that your only job is to eat and study, and you still depressed? Does this sound familiar? All right. But yeah, according to the previous speaker, it seems to be so. My parent generation, they certainly have to deal with a lot of stressful stuff, war, struggle. So that's some real struggle. But our world, we deal with different struggle. And if you open the news any day now, it almost makes you don't want to read the news. It's just so much. It's overwhelming. There's war, there's climate change, there's inequality, you name it. But in the middle of the storm, you can kind of feel that, okay, maybe this is fine, or maybe it's not. Who knows? But here's some statistic. I do think that there are a lot of issues in today's world that maybe you should know about. We live in a digital divide. Most of you here are probably very privileged. You use digital technology on a daily basis. But not everyone in the world gets to do that. In fact, 1 in 3 people worldwide still don't have regular access to internet. And also climate change. That's kind of pending, huh? A lot of young people worldwide around your age are very frightened about the future. And also AI job displacement. So AI, you hear the news, and they also may be coming for a lot of our jobs, as well inequality that I mentioned earlier. And this is the latest report of the Human Development Index that came out earlier today, this year. And for the first time in history, our projection, it's going to be lower than before. Maybe we're not going to see the kind of growth that I showed you before. The projection for the future is that it's going to even out. So your generation may not have a better life than your parents. But what to do? So one thing I think we can all look at is what kind of world you're going to grow up in, the sci-fi world. And already we see so many technology available to us, from automated driving car, to 3D printing, to robots, to gene editing. A lot of amazing technology that you have at your disposal. And there's a lot of also mega trends. For example, if you're a woman, if you're a young woman today, you will have more opportunity than at any point in human history to have job, to have your own independence, and more. And these are some of the key labor market driver. And I've been trying to tell my niece to worry about what she's going to study and who she's going to become. But she tell me, I don't want to think about the future. It's too scary. And I think some of you feel the same. And I totally empathize. I totally agree. But still, there are key drivers that as you grow up and as you continue toward your path, your journey, it's good to understand what's happening. The technology is going to change, the environmental change, the demographic change. And all of this will impact your life. And just one statistic I want to highlight for you is this. There's a lot of number, but just this color, the expected average number of jobs that you will have in your career. At each generation, from the boomer, Gen X, millennial, mine, to your Gen Z, we are seeing an increase, an exponential increase in the number of jobs that you will have in your careers. So my parents never had to have more than one interview in their entire life. They had one job and that's it. Your generation, you're likely to have upward 20 more jobs in your career. So I want to conclude this talk with tell you, what should you do? Would you be okay? And this is where usually in TED Talk I give you an uplifting message. I'm not sure if I can do that today because the future is very uncertain. You may or may not be okay. But what I can share with you is some scenarios. We have done some scenario exercise to see where the future is heading for Vietnam. And you can see 4 future that but I broadly picked 2 of them. One is the national rising era. Now I'll later talk a lot about national rising. A lot of amazing and ambitious promises that will help our country to become technological and economically advanced. But there's also different scenarios, such as the Cold Peace grind. So a lot of geopolitical tension that Vietnam and many other countries in the world will need to navigate. And all of this will affect your future. So it used to be very simple. You either be, in your career selection, you either become a government official, a doctor, an engineer, a lawyer, or a failure. That's how Asian parents think. But these days, that doesn't work anymore. You have so many options that we cannot even think about right now that is real. So what you do? My advice is that you should be very adaptable and explore the skill set that fits you and also continuously learn, as the previous speaker have told. And we have done study, research. You can look at this up online later. These are some of the skills that you might want to equip yourself with. But really, also look at what are the demands of the job market. So for example, a lot of the job around administration, around service industry, like full call center, is expected to decline with AI. But a lot of jobs that used to not to be considered very highly regarded, such as plumber, trade, electrician, will become actually more in demand in the future. So with that, I will just like to leave you with one parting wisdom from our Uncle Ho Chi Minh. Dĩ bất biến, ứng vạn biến. What does this mean? It means that you should respond to all of the change today with the unchanging. So know what is not changing about yourself, your values, your history, your parents, and use that as your compass to guide toward the future. Be like the bamboo tree. All right. Thank you, folks. Thank you for listening.